So whatever you think of Trump, I think this is very brave what he did. He is a member of the cabal, which a lot of people are saying right now. This is the core of evil.
Use the mainstream media puppets to spread the news that he was such an asshole. Pardon my French, he was such a dumb idiot. Donald Trump happened. He said, no fucking way.
There's a certain kind of person who doesn't take no for an answer. They don't walk in quietly. They parade in, trailblazing, eyebrow raising, status quo breaking. Grazing greatness, braving hatred, and taking up space. Never got a seat at the table, so they can't sit and behave. They'd rather defy the rules and amaze. There's a certain kind of person who doesn't wait for greatness. They make it.
Now, Trump, he knew that this pandemic, they were planning on this to go for 5, 10, 15 years. Actually, the New York Times put out an entire spread showing how long it would take for a vaccine, which means the global economy would have been shut down for 10 years. Think about what the world would look like in 10 years if everything was shut down. Would there be food on the shelves? No. Would there be credit freezes? Yes. Would your lights be on? Probably not. The world would be a complete and utter disaster. How many people do you think would die during this period of time? Well, they actually looked at this. It was hundreds of millions of people. Hundreds of millions of people would die. Trump, he saw this. He says, okay, we can have hundreds of millions of people die, or I can go ahead and release a vaccine, which is really not a vaccine, just to counter what they're trying to do. Now, Trump, he was on with Bill O'Reilly, and he discusses this. Take a listen and listen very carefully in what he says.
But look, we did something that was historic. We saved tens of millions of lives worldwide. We, together, all of us, not me, we got a vaccine done, 3 vaccines done, and tremendous therapeutics like Regeneron and other things that have saved a lot of lives. We got a vaccine done in less than 9 months that was supposed to take from 5 to 12 years. Because of that vaccine, millions and millions of people. I think this would have been the Spanish flu of 1917, where up to 100 million people died. This was going to ravage the country far beyond what it is right now. Take credit for it. Take credit for it. What we've done is historic. Don't let them take it away. Don't take it away from ourselves. You're playing right into their hands when you sort of like, oh, the vaccine. If you don't want to take it, you shouldn't be forced to take it. No mandates, but take credit because we saved tens of millions of lives. Take credit. Don't let them take that away from you.
Okay, so the president made news.
Do you agree with that?
Right? Both the president and I are vaxxed, and did you get the booster?
Yes.
I got it too.
Now, if you listen to him, he tells you exactly what he did. He doesn't support mandates. You have the choice to get a vaccine or not. Now, he will never admit because he cannot. Remember the optics. What happens if Trump says, listen, I'm not taking the vaccine. I'm not taking a booster. I'm not taking anything. What would happen at this point? Think about it for a second. Think about what happened with HCQ. What do you think the fake news, the deep state would do? Everything that you're seeing would be blamed on him, wouldn't it? Remember, he has to show he created the entire program to counter what they were trying to do. He's never going to come out and say, hey, vaccines are bad. Hey, don't take your booster. You know what? That's your personal choice. Do the research, find out what's going on, and then make a decision. He tells you that's what you need to do. He was counting on people to do this. And guess what? They did. But him, for himself, he cannot. Because he cannot say, hey, Trump supporters, don't take the vaccine. It's bad. Because they would use the bomb on him. Just like when he came out and said, hey, we should use HCQ to stop this. It works. What did they do? So he has to go along with this. Optics are very important. And remember, we're in a war. Yes. There's going to be casualties in this war. Think about a war that there's bullets, there's missiles, and there's death and destruction. There are certain circumstances where a general or a commanding officer says, listen, I know this is going to get a lot of my troops killed, maybe myself, but if we can do this, it's going to help the greater good, where there are certain individuals have to sacrifice so other things can happen. So Trump right now, when you think about it and say, why would he take the vaccine? Oh, why would he take the booster? Well, we're in a war. He's the commander in chief. He has to keep the optics because he's saving the rest of the people.
It's time for the American people to declare independence from every last COVID mandate. We have to tell this band of hypocrites, tyrants, and racists that we're done with having them control our lives, mess with our children, and close our businesses. We're moving on from COVID. Whether they like it or not, we're moving on. We did a great job. Operation Warp Speed has been praised by everybody, but it's now time to move on. Remember, there are far more of us than there are of them.
So here we are.
More boring committees.
Yes, from
Yes.
the Council on Foreign Relations, some subcommittees are founded.
Very important to understand. You know the expression "know thy enemy, keep them close, keep your family, your friends close, but keep your enemies closer." Well, that is because if you don't know who they are, you don't know how to fight them, how to get rid of them. So only by really understanding this, you will know what to do and whom not to comply with.
When you realize that from 1928 onward, each and every US presidential candidate, so not only the president, but every candidate, was a member of the Council of Foreign Relations. Well, then you know that democracy is just a hoax.
Yeah, it's an illusion.
So you're able to vote for the right or the left wing of the same bird.
Yeah.
They were all on that same commission, and that commission is telling them what to do and how to do it. And if not, they just replace you. At the end of his presidency, Jimmy Carter just did some things that the commission didn't like, and he's just replaced. No problem. What about Donald Trump? If he is a member of the cabal, which a lot of people are saying right now, because Trump is very proud of his vaccination warp speed project. So a lot of people are yelling, well, he must be cabal, and we're all fooled by him. And then we say, okay, we'll keep an eye on him and we look at the facts. So let's start to look at the fact here. If he is a member of the cabal, he must be a member of the Commission on Foreign Relations and at least the Bilderberg Group. Well, here we are, the Council of Foreign Relations.
Follow the mouse.
Follow the mouse on the bottom. You see the names because we found the membership roster. And I looked at it from several years, and it is on alphabetical order. His name is not there.
It goes from Truman to Tucker. There's no Trump.
No Trump.
Which is a relief, great relief, I must admit.
The council releases articles saying Trump is a fool and he's destroying the country and he's destroying the world leadership and he's destroying the world order. Well, that's good news. When they
Carry
say
on.
that,
Carry on, Mr. Trump. Please carry on.
so far we're very
So far, we're good.
yeah, we're good. Bilderberg, he was not there. Never. He
Never.
isn't. I took all the. I just searched all the invitation lists. He was not there. No member.
Yeah.
His son-in-law, Garrett Kushner, was there once. I must say that. But
Yeah.
that's it.
I think if I were Trump, I would send somebody in.
But you cannot send somebody in.
No, that's true.
You're
true.
asked. You're
Yeah.
invited,
Yeah.
and he was not.
So now everybody says, oh, Jared Kushner is a spy for the Mossad. Oh my God. Things are not that easy and
No,
simple, you
it's
know?
It's
So we're not
complicated.
going there, not yet, unless we have proof.
Okay, let's look at the last one.
Trilateral. Tri means three, and it's about North America, Western Europe, and Japan. All right.
So it's
Again,
just
Brzezinski.
It's just an economic committee trying to make trade easier between North America and
Yeah.
Europe and Japan. right?
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, very innocent.
Very innocent. Yeah.
Yeah, right. But not when the founder is Brzezinski and Rockefeller.
No, bad
Then
news.
that's
Oh my
really
God,
bad
that's
news.
Bad news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they only have 325 members,
Yeah.
and they kind of rule the world. That's something hard to say, but it's true. The former members, George Bush, Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton, not Donald Trump, he's not there.
Thank God for that.
Symbolism will be their downfall.
Absolutely.
And this
Well,
is to say, well, the members of this trilateral committee, if you look at their resume, you see that they are chair of all the big companies in the world.
Yeah.
Some of them are chair or directory members, CEOs from 7 to 15 huge companies.
Yeah.
So they have
Yeah.
a saying in all the world. So it's an illusion to think that there's competition between companies. It's an illusion to think that this is not a democracy, but you have communism and you have
Capitalism.
capitalism. It is not
It is not
capitalism because
capitalism.
they are
No.
all they're everywhere.
Yeah. And they have monopolies, you know.
Definitely.
And people can say, well, monopolies are illegal. Yeah, right. Well, there's a lot of illegal stuff going on within the government, but it's still there. You know, it's illegal and it's there. It's an illusion to think you're living in a democracy. It's an illusion to think you're living in a free market. It is an illusion to believe that the government is there for you. And yeah.
Really, really doing it. How do you create a one world government?
No wars this time. No tanks, no bombs. So we won't even notice that there's a real world war going on right now.
Most people don't know this.
Most people don't even understand that we're in the middle of a war. But they did it differently this time. They did it through trade agreements. Trade agreements, and it sounds so good.
And it sounds so boring. But it's not.
But it's not.
No.
And it's clever and it's cunning.
It will blow your mind. So
Yes.
stay awake a
Yes.
little bit longer.
Yes.
Yes. Just enjoy this.
Yes.
The trade agreements, we will not name them all because you can read. There are from every continent to the other, there are trade agreements
Yeah.
because they want a one world government. So the trade agreements should go from every continent to the other.
Yeah. And I'm sure you've heard that in a lot of interviews, President Trump said, I don't want those trade agreements. We will withdraw or we will even end them because they're bad news. He hated NAFTA. He went on and on about NAFTA and CETA, and we're going to show you why. I didn't understand at the time.
You're spoiling it.
Oh, am I? Oh, bugger. Spoiler alert!
So they thought with TTIP, well, that would be very easy because if the same rule applied, they would go to court.
Yeah.
But something happened. This happened.
Donald Trump happened.
Donald Trump
He
happened.
said, no fucking way.
He just shut it all down.
Yeah.
He ended
Bless his heart.
the first weeks when he was president, he ended NAFTA.
Yeah.
One of the first things he did.
Yeah.
He stopped the TTIP, he stopped the Pacific Trade Agreement, he stopped everything.
Yeah.
He stopped
And
it
he was
all.
hated for it by the cabal. And they used the mainstream media puppets to spread the news that he was such an asshole. Pardon my French, he was such a dumb idiot. And he shouldn't have done that, and it was not good, and he was terrible. But in fact, he did the only right thing, and nobody else ever did. He left the Paris Agreement. Why? Because it's not good for the world. It's not good for the citizens. It's not good for the countries. But it's presented in a way that you think the Paris Agreement is good. It is not good. Look into it. Look at what it really does. And you will understand that a good man would say, no way, we're not going to do it. We're going to get out of it. We're going to take care of our national economy and the American people first.
So whatever you think of Trump, I think this is very brave what he did.
Very, very brave.
He just watched and saw these cabal tools and he put an end to it.
Yeah.
That this man is still alive is a miracle.
He must have some very, very good guardian angels.
This is the core of evil.
Just like with this pandemic, it just needed time. Because time allows you to gather the facts. Time allows people to think logically. Time allows people to see what's truly going on. Because once you hear the facts and you hear the truth and you hear and see what's going on, you can make a decision. And this is going to happen with everything else. I mean, think about Russian collusion. How many years went by where the fake news, big tech, the puppet masters pushed Russian collusion, Trump was colluded with Russia. And then all of a sudden, Durham just unsealed a couple of indictments and said, yeah, you know what? They made it up. It was paid for by who? Clinton. Everything that they did fell apart in a snap of a finger. What happens when he unseals everything else? What do you think is going to happen? Now, to get that information out there, what do you have to do? You have to get control of the bullhorn. You need to remove the pandemic fear. Did he catch them in election fraud? Yes. Did the military catch him in election fraud? Yes.
Were a disaster. They were a disgrace to our country. And we've caught them. We've caught them all. We've got it all on tape. We've caught them all. And by the way, you gave the idea for the Logan Act against General Flynn. You better take a look at that, because we caught you in a sense. And President Obama was sitting in the office. He knew about it too. So don't tell me about a free transition.
Secondly, we're in a situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our the President Obama's administration before this. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
Be very, very aware of charismatic leaders, all right? Because it might be really, really bad news. And that's what we always say to each other when, because some people call for Trump as the savior of humanity and the king, he will be the new King of Kings. And I'm like, oh my God, when that happens, bad news. If he ever calls himself the King of Kings, if he ever goes to Jerusalem to sit on a throne, we will expose him for what he is. We are not Trump followers, but so far he's doing really well.
Lately, he even said,
So somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it.
Yeah.
America needs a great leader. And we looked at each other.
Savior. A savior.
Yeah, a savior. We looked at each other and we say, oh my God. And he said, but it's not me. It's someone much higher than me.
Yeah.
So then we could breathe again.
I think he talked about Jesus Christ, but
that was a really good sign.
He said it's not me.
If he proclaims himself to be the savior, then we're in big trouble. Yeah. But he doesn't do that.
Somebody said to me the other day, you're the most famous person in the world by far. I said, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. They said, yes, you are. I said, no. They said, who's more famous? I said, Jesus Christ. I'm not taking any chances. I'm not going to have an argument. Hey, I'm not having any arguments. Jesus Christ. I'm not going to take any chances. I'll give it, I guarantee.
Then we have Blueprint on Telegram put this out and said, the general leftist response to the Clintons' longtime relationship with Epstein-Maxwell is posting old photos of President Trump and Epstein-Maxwell. Some are smart enough to also reply with a flight log including Trump. The relationship between Trump and Epstein is documented and verifiable. There is no Trump affiliation after Epstein assaulted the young daughter of one of his Mar-a-Lago staff. The Clintons, the D.C. elite, and Hollywood, however, continued to pal around with Epstein-Maxwell after his first child sex conviction. They were either customers or enablers of this global child trafficking business, the most prolific in American history, in fact. Any narrative that attempts to equalize the Clintons' longtime relationship with Epstein via Trump's is 100% disinformation. It can be difficult and exhausting to research and sift through all the bullshit in our information war. The elite pedo cult enjoyed immunity on Earth until the 45th administration. This is an observably and provable statement.
The crux of the theory is this belief that you are secretly saving the world from this satanic cult of pedophiles and cannibals. Does that sound like something you are behind? Or
Well, I haven't heard that, but is that supposed to be a bad thing or a good thing? I mean, if I can help save the world from problems, I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to put myself out there, and we are actually. We're saving the world from a radical left philosophy that will destroy this country, and when this country is gone, the rest of the world would follow. The rest of the world would follow. That's the importance of this country.
Partisanship or political bigotry is why these clowns' narratives still sell. A little digging, and we find Mar-a-Lago was created with the explicit purpose of allowing Black and Jew membership, disrupting the racist WASP control of elite clubs in Fort Lauderdale and the South, which prohibited it. The mayor tried to stop President Trump, so he sent him the movie, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, then filed a $100 million lawsuit citing the racism. The rest is history. That's why there are early photos of Epstein and Maxwell with Trump. Epstein was an elite Jew, and Maxwell his lover. No one outside of their evil power structure yet realized Epstein's or Maxwell's sadistic ambitions. During this time, Trump also once hitched a short ride on one of Epstein's planes from Florida to New York City. However, Trump never went to Child Sex Island or rode on the Lolita Express the Clintons and many other elites favored. Mention Epstein would eventually assault the daughter of one of President Trump's Mar-a-Lago employees, and Trump would ban Epstein from his properties. Bad blood ensued. President Trump would later find out about a property deal Epstein was very excited about and backdoored him, seizing the property away from Epstein just to spite him. Fast forward, an Epstein victim attorney stated on camera that no one helped him or the victims. He represented him more than President Trump. Everything that has happened with regard to child trafficking in general.
Chess moves. I'm going to show this one because this is good. Helping humanity by moving forward to greater awareness of loving. Yes. Creating a better world for all and especially for children. Absolutely. I mean, we know humanity, since the beginning of time, the children are our future.
An exposure takedown of this elite cult, specifically since President Trump's election, is a direct result of him and his Patriot administration. All of which was foreshadowed in 2015 at CPAC by President Trump and was reinforced explicitly via his policy, strategy, speeches, first of its kind task forces, and outcome. No one opposition narrative they've thrown at President Trump has stuck. Not one. That's because he isn't a cultist, never joined their societies. They don't have any child sex abuse, blackmail information on him. He isn't a pedophile nor a racist, and he loathes everything they stand for. We knew Maxwell's arrest was imminent after Trump fired the SDNY federal prosecutor overseeing and providing a blockade on the Epstein investigation, plus Wiener's laptop, Ukraine, Clinton Foundation investigations. Less than 2 weeks after Trump fired him, Maxwell was arrested. Trump is the only reason why Epstein, Maxwell, anything today. And it's absolutely true. And we can see that Trump, he's been telling this over and over. He hates the perverts, and he lets us know over and over and over.
You know what this represents? Fellowship. Maybe it's the calm before the storm.
What's the storming?
Could be the calm before the storm.
What storm is
We
the
have the
president?
world's great military people in this room, I will tell you that. And we're going to have a great evening. Thank you all for coming. Thank you.
What storm, Mr. President?
You'll find out.
We're getting ready to take back the country. Remember, this is a war. A war doesn't have a time frame where it says, oh, look, it's over on August 2nd. The war ends when one side wins or the other one says, we're done here. So here we are, the patriots, the people are ready to take back this country.
We all got screwed together, but you know what? We're going to fix it. We're going to fix it. The dignity, daring, and devotion of the American military is unrivaled anywhere in history and any place in the world. As our brave warriors have shown us from the nation's earliest days, in America we are the captains of our own fate. No obstacle, no challenge, and no threat is a match for the sheer determination of the American people. From generation to generation, heroes like these have poured out their blood and sweat and heart and tears for our country. Because of them, America is strong and safe and mighty and free. For as long as our flag flies in the sky above, the names of these fallen warriors will be woven into its threads. For as long as we have citizens willing to follow their example, to carry on their burden, to continue their legacy, then America's cause will never fail and American freedom will never, ever die.
Are you coming to the tree? They strung up a man, they say, who murdered 3. Strange things did happen here, no stranger would it be if we met at midnight in the hanging tree. Are you coming to the tree where dead man called out for his love to flee? Strange things did happen here, no stranger would it be if we met at midnight in the hanging tree. Are you coming to the tree where I told you to run so we'd both be free? Strange things did happen here, no stranger would it be if we met at midnight in the hanging tree. Are you coming to the tree where a necklace of hope side by side with me? Strange things did happen here, no stranger would it be if we met at midnight in the hanging tree. Are you coming to the tree where I told you to run so we'd both be free? Strange things did happen here, no stranger would it be if we met at midnight in the hanging tree. Are you coming to the tree where they strung up a man, they say we murdered 3?
We, the citizens of America, are now joined in a great national effort to rebuild our country and restore its promise for all of our people. Together, we will determine the course of America and the world for many, many years to come. We will face challenges. We will confront hardships, but we will get the job done. For too long, a small group in our nation's capital has reaped the rewards of government, while the people have borne the cost. The forgotten men and women of our country will be forgotten no longer. What truly matters is not which party controls our government, but whether our government is controlled by the people. Every decision on trade, on taxes, on immigration, on foreign affairs will be made to benefit American workers and American families. We must protect our borders from the ravages of other countries making our products, stealing our companies, and destroying our jobs. America will start winning again, winning like never before. At the bedrock of our politics will be a total allegiance to the United States of America. And through our loyalty to our country, we will rediscover our loyalty to each other. We must speak our minds openly, debate our disagreements honestly, but always pursue solidarity. Do not allow anyone to tell you that it cannot be done. No challenge can match the heart and fight and spirit of America. I was put here by people. I was put here by people to do a great job. And that's what I'm doing. And nobody's done a job like I've done. Together, we have to save America. There's never been a time like this. There's never been a time.
I am not your president. Donald Trump is still your president.
The Great Awakening. We are in the beginning stages of the biggest collective awakening ever seen in the history of mankind. Nothing can stop what is coming.
I am not your president. Donald Trump is still your president.